All right, we're going to get started at 6:34. Could I get a motion to enter public session?
I'll make a motion to enter public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Deskler?
Here.
Mr. Luke?
Here.
Mr. Smackson?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Ryan?
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Comments from the public on agenda items. Just a reminder for those members of the public in attendance, this is one of two opportunities afforded to members of the public to comment on or inquire about agenda items. Members of the public will also have an opportunity at the end of the evening's agenda to comment on matters not formally noted on the agenda. Does anybody want to say anything? Do you have any comments about the agenda? Okay, we'll go to the approval of the minutes. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District accept the minutes of the October 14th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're missing anybody? That one. I think, Patrick, you just might want to abstain.
Abstain,
Because you weren't,
okay.
yeah.
Abstain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, motion carries. Communication from the board. We have a yearbook ad request that they send us every year. Every year we, the school board takes out an ad in the school yearbook. And usually the privilege of doing the ad goes to the newest school board member. I don't know, Jason, how you feel about doing a yearbook ad for us. Okay, so we'll take up a collection if everyone wants to give at a future board meeting, give $20 to Jason. And he'll design the ad for us. If you want, we can send you some previous examples that we've done.
Sounds great. I like it.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, discussion items, superintendent's reports and updates.
So this evening, we have a presentation for you. We have been running a program through Sweethearts and Girls called the BRAVE program. Miss Urban and Mrs. Perfetti are the champions or the teacher representatives for those groups, for that group of students. And when we reached out to them and said we would like a couple of kids to speak, the students who are here tonight, these names immediately came to mind. And they felt that they were the perfect people to come and share with you because they have been exceptional. They have been exceptional in the group setting where they work with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to build skills and community. And then they have been outstanding within the rooms working with the younger students and have really risen to the occasion and have done a really nice job. So I would ask, we have Astrid, who's in 6th grade, you can come on up. We have 3 7th graders. We have Azyla, Michaela, and Reef. And then we have one of our 8th graders, Jess Saeed. So they have worked together to put the presentation together. And Miss O'Connell will be your magic to make the boards, to make the slides change. And put your name right at the top in case you have nerves who is doing each slide. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you, and they will share with you their experiences, the impact of the BRAVE program, and what they've been up to for. It's been a series of sessions so far, right? All right. So if you go to the next slide, I think Michaela's going to start with introductions.
Hi guys, my name is Michaela London. I'm in 7th grade. This is Ashton. She's in 6th grade. This is Grace. He's in 7th grade with me. Michaela London here. This is Azyla Smith. She's in 7th grade, and this is Usari, and he's in 8th.
The BRAVE program means being resilient and voicing empathy by being kind to all and acting like a leader as a role model for younger students to look up to. Student empowerment that teaches us to be someone's hero or role model so they have a good example to look up to, like I said previously. Notice loneliness or suffering, uses to act with empathy and care for one being hurt. Step in to help in harsh situations where someone is getting bullied or when someone is getting put down by others in any way. The purpose of BRAVE is to reduce bullying and social isolation for other students, building empathy, resilience, and leadership in students with the right skills, developing actionable skills for students to respond to peers in need and help out when they can, shift school culture from bystanders to upstanders and peer projectors who do something in the harsh situation bullying is or a bullying incident instead of watching it happen, making good examples for other students to look up to, and teaching kids what bullying is and why it was important to learn the ABC skills.
This is what the BRAVE program has taught us. Recognizing when others are struggling in any way, shape, or form. The BRAVE program has also taught us taking safe and effective action to help out others. Understanding the signs and impact of the loneliness on the brain and body. Building social emotional resilience and coping strategies, leading with kindness, courage, and empathy in everyday situations. The importance of the ABC skills and how to work with younger students effectively. These are the ABC programs of the BRAVE. These are the ABC words of the BRAVE program. A is for the individual experiencing bullying, inclusion, or loneliness. They may feel isolated, embarrassed, unsafe, or unsure what to do in that situation. B for bullying, the person showing the truthful behavior or negative behavior itself. Sweethearts program emphasizes that bullying is a behavior not an identity. And behaviors can be changed in Sweethearts and Heroes. We all call bullies villains.
C equals object, the abstainer. The person who takes safe, positive action to help the affected, a hero, brave, teaches students how to be the C. The one who steps in includes, supports, and helps.
So why are the ABCs great? So this model is powerful because it removes labels that shame bully and instead focuses on behaviors that can change. It teaches students to recognize who needs help, which is the A, understand what harmful behavior looks like, which is the B, and most importantly, learn how to be the help, C. C is the heart of BRAVE, empowering students to be the champions for others. It's a simple way for young kids to understand and remember to be brave. And the message for students, everyone will be an A, B, or C at some point in life. BRAVE teaches us how to choose to be the C, the person who wants.
Our experience with heroes and heroes in sixth grade, people are rude to other peers quite frequently. In my experience, being a bystander is not an option. I am not going to watch it happen to somebody else or let it happen to me. I'm going to help them or stand up for myself so I don't have to feel that way anymore. If you do have a bullying problem, fill out a report for DASA or talk to a teacher about what happened and what she wants to change about it. You can go to the counseling suite or talk with the other teachers to stop this problem from happening. No one should have to feel that they don't want to go to school because they are getting bullied or hurt by their peers in any way. With the elementary students, they are very cheerful and sometimes have a lot of energy. You have to get in a different mindset so you are willing to have fun with it. Be silly and make the learning lessons into a fun game or whether to play. Having a talking piece helps because it allows them to focus on the speaker. Overall, it is very fun to work. It is very fun to work with the younger kids and teach them about bullying.
Brave have changed us because now we see the world from a different point of view. And now we know what bullying is and how to stop it altogether. We know when to ask for help and what to do in that situation. We also get the opportunity to teach younger students about what we learned about bullying and how to maintain healthy relationships between others in and out of classes with all other people. It also taught us how to change how we see things and how we lead people in the right direction to help out peers with problems with our leadership skills for them. Also, we are now able to help younger cadets because of what we did. We taught them it. And then they can become the leaders of their classes because they were able to learn from us, from what we learned from the BRAVE program. It's because they are what it takes to be a leader and are educated in the right way.
If you have any questions about the BRAVE production, please do not hesitate to ask me. We will try our best to comply and tell you the most efficient answer we can tell you.
I want to thank you all.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
So don't push on yet, I do have a question. I want to thank you guys for participating in the program and coming and giving us this presentation. We've heard a lot about the program, but it's great to hear you guys come up and talk about it. Without getting specifics, because I don't want you talking about classmates, but have any of you had a chance to use any of these principles yet? Have you kind of talked to some of the other kids who aren't in the program about it? And
I had a chance to use like my experience in the grade program with my class. I was able to run in the rivalry circle because there was problem following my subject class. And I was able to like stand up as a leader and like run a circle. Like I asked my teacher that I was able to run a circle with the help of my friend Machado, and they're able to talk about what they was following in class and all. And I feel like it went like very successful because I remember the ABC rules.
great. Do you think it's easier for the students to, once they hear other students saying this bullying isn't okay, as opposed to just a teacher telling them it's not okay? Like maybe they're more willing to listen and improve classroom behaviors maybe, and make each other feel safe, right? Because that's really the goal, is you guys want a fun, safe environment in school and not worry about bullying. So that's great. Thank you guys so much. Does anybody else from the board have any questions?
Chelsea, you were going to add something before?
She,
Oh, she got
I'm just gonna, I think one thing that separates this program out, that, you know, what I enjoy going in to see them, is that they're not just telling the kids about bullying. They do what's called bully drills, right? Can you guys tell them a little bit about what a bully drill is? Anyone want to talk about that?
well, we usually get into groups and, we use a talking piece to introduce ourselves first, and then we have.
Like what's up there, right, Jesse? One of those? Yep, okay, sorry, I didn't, but
We do a little handshake. It's like hero wise. And then after that, we usually pick, one of them or us to be a victim, a bully, and a hero. Usually the victim is getting bullied by the hero, and then the hero saves them.
and there are 3 ways you can, I think the ABCs are the 3 ways you can save somebody or help the bully. Does anyone remember what those ABCs are? Am I putting you on the spot? Yeah. Take somebody away from the bully.
Call their buddy.
Yep.
And then see what's called another superhero.
Yep, call another superhero. And calling in another superhero could be like a teacher or someone else, right? So you could take the person away, you could, what was it?
Call their buddy. Or you could call another superhero.
So that's the ABCs that they teach the younger kids to intervene when they see something happening, which a lot of times you hear bullying conversations and talk like, don't bully, it's not nice. But they're actually learning in the moment, practice drills, and then they go in and they give the kids a scenario, and then the kids have got to respond using one of those 3 ABCs in order to prevent the bullying from going on.
That's great. It's not always easy to intervene when it might even be your friends doing the bullying, right? And they might not even, they just might think they're being funny, but if you see someone else getting hurt, it's not always easy to stand in and say to your friend, hey, that's not okay. And that's great that you guys are learning those skills. Even for adults, it's hard to do that, by the way. So you'll be practicing those skills your whole life.
And that's their superhero handshake, what those 2 are doing right there in that first picture. So all the younger students have a secret hero handshake with these guys. So if you see them doing some poses, that's their hero shake.
You guys want to say back to me too?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you guys, we're very creative.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight, families. I appreciate you for bringing the kids down and letting them share with the board. We are proud of the work that they are doing. We are proud of the leaders that they are in our school. And it is a cold, wet, rainy night out. So please feel free to head on home if you would like to. You do not have to stay for the remainder of the meeting. Thank you for being here. Hopefully we'll see you guys again for another different meeting for the presentation. So thank you.
I think his mom's coming back to 7.
All right, so the second item under my discussion is from the New York State School Boards Association convention that we went to down in New York City, myself, Courtney, and Jason. I am going to share this evening about some of the presentations that I saw, and I included some of the information for you from those presentations for you to take a look at. The first session that I went to was around navigating digital distractions. It's a national presentation that they give, so they have to tweak the presentation because obviously in New York State, we are required to be a distraction-free school. And some of the takeaways for us, because we're already there, there was a lot of conversation about how to get to being a distraction-free school, but there's not a lot of choice here in New York State around that. So the pieces that I really were listening to was the idea of a feedback loop and then the annual review of the policy. Particularly in places where there has been a lot of feedback and parents have a lot of concern about not having cell phones in school, asking how's it going, where are the challenges, when they need to, are they able to get in contact with their students, and then being sure to review the policy annually based on any changes that may come up and to make sure that the policy still fits the needs of the district. The second presentation that I went to was around chronic absenteeism. Since COVID, chronic absenteeism is an issue that many districts face, including ours. We have a group of teachers who work, a group of teachers, support service people that work with Audrey and Kathleen to try to tackle chronic absenteeism here. Glens Falls was there and presented, and they just shared their approach. A couple of the things we do that they do, and then there's some things that we could add to our repertoire. So I shared some of that information with Mrs. Kozlowski, and a lot of what we do, understanding why aren't kids here? The second piece was really doing an attendance awareness campaign. A lot of times we report number of days that students are out, but the number of days actually doesn't sound terrible until you get to the second half of the year. So they really focused on a percentage model versus you've been out for 10 days. 10 days in November is very different than 10 days in April. So talking about the percentage of days out and then comparing that with the average the students miss in your building. Because sometimes families just don't know that their kids' absenteeism is, a lot greater than others. They talked a little bit about removing barriers, and I would say our social work and counseling department does a lot of that. And then some data-driven supports based on what kids need and how to get here. So I think there were a few new ideas to take away. And one of the things that they talk about is, absenteeism improves when kids feel connected to buildings. So being able to identify who those kids are and letting teachers know these are the kids that we have to work to build relationships rather quickly. There was another session on project-based learning, and it was really the use of STEM integration and problem-based learning and working with the community members. They had a book that they wrote that is out of print right now, but there was just some nice ideas of how to give kids real-life problem-solving opportunities, and they offered it through what we would call like an innovation or a STEM class. It was a class that was a standalone class that they had worked through. The next session was on a non-traditional school-based approach to sensory and emotional regulation. There was an occupational therapist and physical therapist in a district that had worked together to create what they would call rooms to regulate up and then to regulate down. A lot of times I think we hear about rooms to kind of like bring people's regulations down, but then this idea too that sometimes kids need to regulate up. And they talked a lot about teacher and family education and when each was appropriate. There was always the session with the commissioner. During that session, she talks about problems facing the state, and she usually hits some big ticket items that are out there. This year she talked about cell phones, electric buses, portrait of graduate. And I will say it's a lot of the information that is out there widely, but she's there to take questions and with her panel and talk directly to people of where they are and what they're working on. I'm going to skip down to unlocking the mystery of state aid. I included that presentation for you. It really is about the different kinds of state aid that we get, that they're formula driven in terms of transportation aid, foundation aid, those types of things. I included that for you. I won't go through it all with you. I would say take a look. We'll be talking about a lot of different kinds of aids and funding sources and revenue sources as the next couple of months come on. So there are some examples for you and just the difference between how aid runs in like a suburban district versus a rural district versus a city district. That really does change how much your taxpayers are paying versus how much is absorbed by state aid. I will say some of the city districts, when they tend to have higher state aid, that is great, except for when there's cuts. So when there's cuts, our city districts feel them a little bit more deeply. So when you take a look at that, you'll see where we land versus our tax revenue versus state aid, but that's just a good piece to keep in mind. And then the last two, I had Dignity for All from Tim Shriver and Kindness 101 for Steve Hartman. We all went to those. The Dignity for All was like the opening speaker. Kindness 101 was for Steve Hartman. The two pieces I included for you for Tim Shriver was the Dignity Index, and it's just how we approach situations and disagreements. And do you come willing to listen and think that you're possibly have something to learn? Or do you come, firmly standing in your corner? And they did talk a little bit about, it's not about not standing behind your values, but it's not an excuse to maybe discriminate or treat people poorly, but it's just a way to have a conversation and to really open up the conversation and not be so polarized. We are grateful that we have Board of Education meetings that don't tend to be contentious. Some of our colleagues around the state are not that lucky, and I think that this could potentially be a tool and a way to listen and hear and move forward. And then they do have it for kids as well. And then the last one, my takeaway for Steve Hartman, he does the On the Road on CBS, and he tells stories, extraordinary stories of ordinary people. And I think my takeaway for that was just that every person has stories, and I would include that for our kids and our families. So how do we get to learn about our kids? How do we get to learn about our families? And how do we get to, really share those stories? Because I'm sure that there's plenty of extraordinary stories amongst the 300 students that sit with us.
Okay, thank you. Jason and I went as well. Jason, we can maybe take turns presenting at a later meeting. If you have any sessions you wanted to share with the group, just let me know if you'd rather share in, what are we in November now? December or January, whichever one.
Cool.
Business matters, non-action items. A, business office warrants. Enclosed for the information of the board are copies of the following warrants and claims auditor report for September 2025. Does anybody have any questions? All right, budget transfers under $10,000. Any questions there? Item C, appropriation status report for November. It says November meeting, but I think the report was October, right? I ran to the end of October. Yep. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, item D, revenue status report. Any questions there? All right, business matters, action items, treasurer's report. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District approve the treasurer's report for October 2025.
Second.
Are there any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item B, donations. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be resolved that the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District accept the following donations as listed. Second.
We want to thank these groups for those donations. It's very much appreciated, especially the Stewart's Food donations. That's fantastic. All in favor of accepting the donations?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, disposal of items. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District approve the disposal of the items listed below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to policies. Item A, first reading of policies. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Policy Committee, approve the first readings of the following policies. That's student records and student record retention, student privacy under the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment, and information security breach and notification and regulation.
Second?
Are there any questions about these? These were, I believe, these were newer policies for us anyway, well, newly updated, fairly recently updated, but NISBA had come out with new versions of these that kind of took some of the information out of some and put it in another. We didn't make too many Manan specific changes. Did anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, final reading of policies. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Policy Committee, approve the final readings of the following policies.
Second.
Any questions about these? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, personnel matters, resignation. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District accept the following resignation for Alexandra Gibson, effective close of business November 28th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We just want to thank Alex for her time with the district, for teaching library for our kids. She'll be staying on for 30 days to help the transition, and we want to thank her for her time and wish her luck. All the best.
Yeah, I would add that, when Alice came on, we hadn't had a school librarian for about 2 years. So she really did a lot of work about cleaning out our collection, updating our collection. And most recently, she helped us roll over to a new system that was more updated through Capital Region BOCES to streamline the checking out of books and being able to utilize the library. So, we certainly wish her the best in her, her next steps in her career. And, we will continue our search and work to have somebody here for our students in the near future.
Thank you. Item B, personnel agenda. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the personnel agenda as attached.
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Academic Academy. This is a newer item, so I don't know if there's any questions. It's a green sheet, but it's in the thing as well. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve the Academic Academy tutors for the 25-26 school year as listed.
Second?
Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, tenure recommendation. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District grant tenure to Caitlin Bruce in the teaching assistant tenure area effective December 14th, 2025.
Second.
You see the recommendation letter here. Everyone had a chance to read that. Were there any questions?
I would just add that it is hard to believe that Katie is closing out her 4th year with us here at Manans. She was with us a few years before she returned. We were happy to have her return in a teaching assistant capacity. She primarily works with our students who are in our self-contained programs who have, for the most part, communication disorders. She is excellent with them. She really has taken a lead in those classrooms around behavior, so much so when we had decided to have somebody who could float and work between the rooms and then be a sub. It was an easy choice to have her be that person that could be a resource to the different classrooms. She's done a lot of work with our teachers and has partnered with our teachers to help make sure that our aides have the skills and the knowledge that they need to be successful with our students. So it was an easy question to answer when she came up for tenure, and I look forward to the work that Katie will continue to do. She couldn't be here tonight. She is in a college course that she couldn't be excused from, so she was sorry that she couldn't be here, but she did receive a copy of the letter, and we do look forward to her continued work and growth with our students and our faculty.
Okay, we have a second. Let's get a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We want to congratulate Katie Bruce on her tenure and welcome her again to the district in her tenure position. Thank you. Item E, substitute teachers fully cleared. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve the substitute teachers for the 2025-2026 school year as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, updated club stipends for the 25-26 school year. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District approve the updated club stipends on the attached sheet for the 2025-26 school year in accordance with the NAT contract. All hours will be submitted and approved via timesheets.
Second.
I would just add, the only addition is Mrs. Rayo for the drama club production. We wanted to let her get her feet under her before she committed and just have an understanding of what the commitment is for drama club and make sure that it was something she was interested in doing. And she is, and we're excited to have her. She has a wonderful wealth of knowledge in the area of drama, and I think that she'll make an excellent addition to the team that puts together that production each year.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to item 7, superintendent program recommendations. A, CSE, CPSE recommendations. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Menands Union Free School District hereby approves the CSE, CPSE recommendations as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 8, enrollment update. Looks like we're up at 309. Whereabouts?
Back to 3 on Wednesday.
Done. Student matters, B, superintendent's comments.
So, the month of November was projected to be a difficult time for our families, given some of the challenges at the federal level, in particular around food and food insecurities. So, we had put additional funds towards our food pantry to make sure that was staffed. I would also add that our school staff, our school community has really pulled together. Mr. Drexel and Mrs. Vandenberg have worked very hard to organize. I think they brought in 2,000 pounds of food last week from the food pantry. In addition to the different donations that we've had, Mr. Buskey has been working with families that maybe don't typically access our food pantry to see if they need some support over the time. So we will continue to support families. We will continue to make sure that our kids have what they need during these times. And I am proud of the community that has come around them in order to make that happen. In addition, October is a pretty busy month for recognitions in the area of schools. So I would start by saying that the month of October celebrates physical therapy. And now that we have our very own physical therapist on staff, we worked with her to recognize the month, and her and our OT did some work around some superheroes of physical therapy and did some really nice work with them. In addition, in October, we celebrate occupational therapists. We have a certified occupational therapist. The work that she does is pretty incredible with kids. And again, this is, only the second year that we've had our own person on staff. Jill and Carly have been wonderful additions. They're a wealth of knowledge. And I would say the kids that they directly service benefit from them being in our school, but I would say the school as a whole benefits from having them here as a resource. Also in October, it is National Principals Month. Mrs. Wiley is central to the operations of our school and the initiatives that we put forth, and she works hard every day. Principal Wiley enjoys a good time, so the staff has decided, instead of a bunch of really nice thank you notes, they've played some tricks on her this month. She has been here for it, and she has enjoyed it. She dared not come to work one day, so they wrapped her office. All the staff called and said goodnight to her one night. And then another day, they just left random objects in her office. I would say about 7:30, me and Audrey got a text of like, why is there a mannequin head in my office? And then over the course of the day, they did a nice job dropping stuff off. So she was a good sport, but we do appreciate her. And we like to have a little bit of fun. She enjoys a good time. I believe she was at the heart of the blow up race that happened at the Pumpkin Run. So her and Officer Stowe. And then last but not least, as we go into November, we celebrated School Psychologist Appreciation Week last week. We have Lori Cotelli. She is here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and she is a critical part of our support team. She works hard, and she is really just excellent with our students. She does quite a bit of evaluations for us, and she does a lot of advocacy and partnership with our families. So we appreciate the work she does, especially on a part-time basis. It's hard to only be here 2 days a week and try to stay on top of things, and she does a really nice job. So we are grateful for her as well. And then, of course, the board. We got your video in October, so thank you to you as well.
Item C, business managers' comments.
So to give an update to Board of Education on the borrowing, as we know, we just wrapped up over the last year there, 2 years of roof project. We are going to be doing a borrowing for that this December. We spoke about that hopefully would make the ban, which is a bond anticipation note callable this winter, which we are doing. It's in process now for, you'll have to sign your life away in the December meeting, but what's very nice to report to the Board of Education, what we said we tried to do with the grant money and how we work, we are now borrowing less than what the maximum was, which was 2.36 million. We're just over 2.2, and we're going to be able to pay that back over a shorter term, which in return, we pay less interest, and we're going to be paying it off in 9 to 10 years as opposed to 15. And what that does for us also is the aid is payable over 15 years. So that'll make any future capital work a little bit easier as the debt that's coming on will be going off in 10 years rather than 15. We had a Moody's rating call, which kind of goes over our financial position, and we did very well. We rate at an AA3 rating, which is very good. I would like to tell you that on the scorecard, we would even go higher. However, what some of the limitations are for our district is that we would need to have a bigger, a different building here or something that would generate more residents, more people here to the community. We're so small. That's one of the things that doesn't sit so well for us. Again, we are very strong all regardless, but that's what I thought it'd be interesting to know what the factors were that didn't get us to the AA2 rating. And again, just that a material expansion of the local economy that would drive enrollment increases. And the other thing is that we have very low debt considering our size and our budget. So those were two very, very positive factors on how we came up and got to maintain our strong rating. And on the scorecard, we could have went up, but we didn't go down, which is wonderful. We stayed high. And one of the things that they gave us good marks on or significant increase in reserves, or that's our solid liquidity in reserves. We have a nice strong reserves. And that's about it.
Great, thank you. Any questions about the borrowing update, the note coming up? All right, item D, principal's comments.
Thank you. Yeah, so our kindergartners, we did a lot this month, as we always do when I look back on these. I'm like, wow, we do a lot, our teachers do a lot for our kids all the time. They're always thinking about ways to make the day not just be a day sitting in desks and do it, they really work hard to make days special. That sitting in desks is not special, it's important and learning is important, but they really try to make this a rich academic learning environment. And this is one of the ways they have planned plenty of field trips. This is our kindergartners. They went to Elms Farm. This is a yearly trip that they take. So the students had a great time there, a very busy day. They all came back pretty exhausted, but they had a good time. Well, pre-K went, I'm sorry, I forgot pre-K went. Our Felix Ortiz had been here a couple years back and had come in during Spanish classes and done some salsa lessons. What we did this year is combined it with our Hispanic Heritage Evening, and the kids learned during the day, all their PE classes, they learned how to do their salsa moves, which if you see on the next slide, they were able to put those into motion at our Hispanic Heritage Evening. So they were able to join with Alex Torres and his orchestra and share in some music and dancing, and they were definitely leading the way up in the front of the stage doing their dances that Felix taught them. Felix came and led some of that in the evening, so that was really nice of him to come back to kind of lead some dances in the evening with the kids. Caribe, just back up one quick second, Trish, sorry. I just wanted to shout out our food vendor where it was, that's okay, you might be asking. Caribe was our food vendor. They served some really great food for the community. delivered it here, and the kids had a, wow, it's just going. It's just, I'll speak faster. So with that, which is wonderful, what a really, really great night with the community. What I really liked a lot about it, and this is gonna keep going, I'm sorry, but I have to say, I liked that the simplicity of the evening. Like, we just went into the gym and danced and had a good time as a community, and like, that was it. Like, there was like not too much, we just kind of chilled out and had a good time, so it was great. The pumpkin contest was last week. Always impressed with all the work that you all do at home with your kids and think about stories and think about how the pumpkins can be decorated in an awesome way. Our Pay It Forward is a club that happens after school, led by Ms. Stack, and she brings the kids to various places around the community. Recently, they went to the Manans Library and volunteered. They also go to the shelter, the pet shelter, and they play with the animals, they walk them, they feed them, so they have a good time there too. Thank you to the staff for running that. We have a ribbon week with our themes each day. So we had a spirit-filled week filled with different dress codes, which ended with our pumpkin run, which we'll share a little bit about coming up. So I cannot tell you how proud I am of those kids that were here. Like, they make me beam. Like, they make me so proud of the work they do. When you go in and see these kids looking up at these big kids, waiting and hanging on every word they say, there is nothing like it. Like, we have to capitalize on being a K-8 building, and there is so many advantages to that, and this is one of them. It's just amazing how much these little kids cannot wait for these older kids to come in the room. They do the drills with them. They do the handshakes in the hallway. It is just an amazing program. So I want to thank Albany County gave us the grant to do this. We got an anti-bullying grant for $15,000, and that's what has allowed this program to kind of take off. Our goal is that these older kids will turnkey it to some other students, and we'll be able to continue it. But I will be applying hopefully for another grant to bring them in one more year to get. We have right now about, I think we have 15 kids that are brave leaders. I would like to double that next year and have 30 and include some more fifth graders. Right now, there's only 2 fifth graders. We need more fifth graders who will be 6th graders so we can really expand this program. It's powerful and it's beautiful. It really is. So thank you to those kids and to the younger kids. They've been great too. I mean, how cute, like, come on. It's just so awesome. It's just such a great thing. And what I really like about it, if I interrupted them, was they don't just say don't bully. Like, they actually give a strategy. And I mean, I've been teaching for 20 something years and I never knew a strategy besides like, just tell them no. Like, kids can't do that. That's hard. Don't bully them. Like, that's hard. But these are actual strategies that kids can do. Like take them away, like, hey, Audrey, I want to show you this over here. That's such a reasonable strategy that a kid can do. It's easy, and you just get them out of the situation. Is that the solving of the bullying? No, it's not a 8-year-old's job to solve bullying. It's an 8-year-old's job to try to see a friend that might need help and help them out. So I just appreciate the program so much. They'll be back on Wednesday again to work some more in the classrooms. We had our 2nd grade classes. I really like seeing there's been so many families in the building a lot lately. This month we've had a lot of families in and out, and it's been great, the participation in the classroom. So we have a poetry read. Our students are finishing up our core unit 1. So they are coming up with a lot of different projects. I know one class did Magic Treehouse books, correct? Yep, Ms. Hidgray's class is working on that. So the teachers are doing a great job bringing families in and including them in the education within the classroom. So kids are working hard, teachers working hard. Our pumpkin run was so much fun. We were worried about the rain, but it held off and it did really well. I mean, I did so well with the field day last year. Ms. Canavo said, I know, I trust you that if it rains, you'll not call it off. You know, anyway, I'm teasing myself because we know that I earned field day last year. But the weather held off and they did a great job. So much fun. What a great tradition we have here in Manans. And I think we added a little piece to it here. We did our blow up race. I had an unfair advantage. I just want to announce that. I was the cow and I could not see. So I couldn't really run, but it was so much fun. We had more fun getting dressed. You should have seen the 8 of us in that room with glow costumes running into each other. It was just such a good time. So we had a blast. The kids, I think, enjoyed seeing us be silly and getting out there and trying as well. The NED show came. NED stands for never give up, encourage others, and do your best. If your kids have come home wanting yo-yos, this is why. The yo-yo sale is a pay it forward type of sale. So we don't pay for the assembly at all. The money from the yo-yos pays for the next assembly. And that's how it kind of moves forward. It's a great show. It's about an hour long. The kids participate. You know, they really learn a lot about resilience. Field trip to the Iroquois Museum. The 4th grade went to that. I think that was last week. Days feel like weeks at this point. But I love this picture. You know, they look like a couple of old men just like in the alcove watching football. Thank you to the teachers for organizing that. And here's our upcoming events. This is our cup stacking. If you're not familiar with what Stack Up is, that's the national cup stacking competition. Ms. O'Connell is getting our talent show ready. I don't know if there's anything you want to share about that, but I know that's coming up fast and furious.
I have 1:30 on the 25th. We'll have auditions the week before, which are auditions. Nobody gets cut. It's just to make sure that they practiced at some point before they get on stage.
I think the most important thing is it's not in June.
Then
It's been canceled and everything else is in process.
When did you say auditions are?
the week before the week before Thanksgiving. They have a choice. They got updated permission slips at home today.
Okay.
That don't have a June date on
That
them.
don't have a June
That's why you don't do things on a Friday afternoon.
Also, is that early dismissal time?
Oh, that's early dismissal time.
Oh, that's
11:20.
I mean, that's silly. The only thing not up here is the 21st is going to be another parent luncheon, so parents can come. We're going to do pre-K through 4th grade. We can't do all the grades because 3, 4, and 5 are all at the same lunchtime, and it is very crowded in there. And if I brought all the 3, 4, 5 parents in at the same time, so I will rotate through those grades. So we might drop 3rd and add 5th. I just can't have all 3 in there because if every parent showed up, we'd be putting one group. So that would not be good. Joanne would be mad at me. That was really fun. Last time parents came in, they sat with their kids, they had lunch with them, some of them brought lunch. It was great. So we're gonna do it again on the 21st. And I just sent that out and I just did a parent newsletter. I just sent that out today, so that will be out in the parent newsletter. Any questions?
You. All right, number 9, miscellaneous. This is a chance for board members to ask about anything, talk about anything, maybe suggest an item for a future meeting or community events that are going on that you want to share about. Anybody?
I'm good.
Good.
Mhm. I don't know either. Item 10, public comment. Please note during public comment sections, members of the community may address the board on agenda and non-agenda items. Speakers should identify themselves and the topic on which they would like to make remarks. Does anybody have anything? Yep, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Mohammed. I live in Oxford, I live in Cars, and we are students from Technology High School. We came here to give thanks. We have a long list of things we want to talk about. Do we have permission to record audio and visual beforehand?
It's fine with me. I think we're already recording for the website, so it's fine with me. Oh. Okay, go for it.
All right, sorry.
That's okay.
Put this right here. I don't know if it sees, but I hope it sees enough.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Do you want me to hold it?
Oh,
You're welcome.
So we come here for our economics and government class, where we're here to, give huge thanks for you guys giving us like the get-go to kind of come to Tech Valley and all the benefits of options. Let's begin with a thank you, Thompson.
So thank you, because Tech Valley High School was definitely one of the best schools I have been to. Because of the small number of students, there's less students per classroom, so each teacher pays more attention to every individual student. Not only that, the community there is a lot more accepting than I've seen in any other school as well. And the project-based learning, instead of, it helps me like learn more on my own and learn a bunch of things through experience rather than, well, I guess it is technically scripted, but like instead of the same thing that's been taught for close to 100 years. In fact, one of the classes I'm taking right now was made this year, and it's a new class and it works just fine. And again, I've changed as I've become less nervous because of the public speaking they have me do at TVHS. So I'm really grateful.
Same here. I was the shyest little kid, and it's really helped me progress into being able to speak in anywhere. I feel like it really helps me learn my own way. There are classes that I like and classes that I don't like, but still, it's not like I don't like them that much. I don't know how to say it, but say physics and English, who knew those two would go together? It worked out really well last year. That was our first year doing it, and there were some bumps, but we got through it. It's great.
My thank you comes for the specific fact that Tech Valley High School is a project-based learning school. Out of the 4 options that was presented to me when I personally graduated here back in my 8th grade, I chose it due to its different approach to education, and I found a different approaches what I needed to kind of be more successful in high school. And I'd like to yet again thank you for that.
So I know you went to a meeting about project-based learning, but we're just going to touch on how we do it a little bit. Our project-based learning, it usually spans about a month. It encapsulates a whole unit, and we span it out so that we reach benchmarks on our way to a final product. The final product is usually pitched to us by a business partner. And an example of that is right now we're doing this project called Innovative Solutions, where we have a business partner and a team. I have a team of 3 where I'm the communicator reaching out to the business partner and going back and forth. We set up meetings and times to communicate and see what they want. We act like a consulting firm where they give us a problem and we solve the problem. Mine is proposed by Tokyo Electron, big company. I don't know if you've seen it on I-90. There's 2 big white buildings. They give us a problem where they wanted to be able to show their data visually that comes out of their microchip machines. So right now we're coding in Python and making a program that you could import the file and it'll just make a bunch of graphs. You can toggle on and off which one or however many you want.
So, and for my Innovative Solutions, it's ThinkPair AI, where they're trying to figure out how to make an AI model that assists with project-based learning. And to touch upon business partners, because TVHS basically makes you do community service, which I probably would not have done as much community service had I not taken Tech Valley. It actually got me actually business partner that actually helped me to get an opportunity to get a job at the end of this year. So if had it not been for Tech Valley, I probably would have had an opportunity like that. Not to mention that all the other business partners, these are like real companies with like real people during my high school years. Like for example, the Writers Institute at UAlbany as well. So
To piggyback off what he said about big companies, my project that I'm working for Innovative Solutions is I'm working with Albany's College of Health and Pharmaceutical Science. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at that name. But I'm helping them not only voice out the different programs they have with CBET, but also collaborations as a current collaboration with Russell Sage. And I'm also working there later for a project that it does. I'm working there for my iTerm. Our school is called iTerm, which is basically an Ikigai, with a combination of what you like, what makes you money,
What you're passionate about, what you're good at.
what you're good at. And so for every 4 years that a student attends Tech Valley, they're forced to kind of challenge these ideas and beliefs about themselves to kind of see what they want to be in life. And through this connection, I know a lot about myself, I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of clueless out of middle school, and I think I started freshman year into computers. Sophomore years, I think I went to engineering. Senior year, sophomore year, I went, no, junior year, I went in for graphic design, and this year I'm going in for bioengineering at the exact same college I was working at. So the network helps you out. Yeah. It's like, okay, nice. A future plans plan. My future plans, of course, is to actually go there and work. They're offering me a shadow opportunity to get in some time to work with them, and also potentially a job later on after college. I don't know.
Me would be the, this I talked about earlier, which is Albany State Parks and looking at animal reserves, potentially this winter if I'm accepted. And as far as future places, because the Tech Valley is so adamant about the college credit classes, like they stop in the middle of class to let you know about the college credit. So because of how many HECC credits I've had, I'm planning on going to Hudson Valley Community College and then going to a four-year institution.
So to touch a little bit more on what happens each year in Acton, freshman year, we did a poster board where we stood in front of it and presented it in the hallway. I did EMS for my first year, but I realized that you can't really get paid for that. Even though I loved it and I'd be pretty good at it, it was not my ikigai. My sophomore year, we did this presentation called Patrick Fucha, where it's 20 slides and 20 slides, 20 seconds each. And for that, I did, what did I do? Oh, civil engineering. I found out that was not my ikigai either, because a lot of math. I like doing math, but I think that's too much in civil engineering. And last year, I did resort management and hospitality, where I did an internship for 1 week up at Stratton Mountain Resort. And I'm planning on going back this year. Personal growth.
Oh, so as I touched on before, I have become more confident as far as public speaking, although it's definitely not perfect yet. And my social skills have improved dramatically, which would definitely have not happened in probably other high schools because there's so much talking you have to do with everyone all the time. There's always group projects. You're never like able to just be in the back of the classroom and say nothing. You always have to talk and communicate and present every single year, multiple times a year, in front of the whole school sometimes, which is on just but still, I'm very grateful for the experience I got at Tech Valley.
For me, Tech Valley helped shape the main part of my future. Before coming to Tech Valley, I didn't really know what I was going to do for high school, let alone college or job. And being able to go to high school and farm good college credits, getting some growth in personal skills such as communication. Also, the growth in the idea of what a college is and what jobs could actually be. And it wasn't just office type work for all your life. That kind of helped form me into having a better idea for my future. And that's something I want to thank you guys for.
So I like Tech Valley because I touched on this earlier. It's got classes that I like. It's really shaped me into a person who can be more open and expressive. And I feel like it's really fed into my interests of STEM. There are some classes, actually one in particular I'm going through now. It's materials and design exploration. I did that last year as well as this year. It's about, our last project was to make a new tool. Very difficult because most tools have been invented already. But one I designed was a little clip for the hat. I ran stress simulations for that. I designed it in Fusion 360 and made an Instructable about that. But Tech Valley isn't just about STEM. It's also a lot of humanities. We have a lot of people going into art, history, and many other fields. If you haven't integrated project-based learning yet, or if that hasn't been a decision, I highly recommend it.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all we got.
So again, thank you so much for letting us take that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For coming and speaking. Are all three of you former Manan students?
I am not, I transferred to Manan. In fact, I transferred to Manan specifically to get into Tech Valley.
Same
I think all three, well, I came through. I think all three boys, you have different backgrounds. Well, you didn't come to our school. We do keep track of kind of where our kids come from and what they do and what their pathways are. And I think all three boys had different pathways and came from different backgrounds, but Tech Valley was an opportunity that sounds like served each of you well and in different ways. And we're so glad that you found your spot there. And we are so glad that you had that choice because, you know, having different opportunities and different pathways and different options for kids is really a unique piece of finance, but I think something that when they come back and share and tell us about them, that we forget sometimes how just special and valuable that is for our kids. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say or share, ask about public comment? Okay, then I think we're done. Could I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all so much for coming.